Harnessing social media rather than allowing it to harness you is one of the most crucial skills that you can learn in the 21st century. Why? Because if used in the right way, you can expand your network, expand your income, expand your mind. Use your social media as a form of productivity, research, rather than distraction. According to the latest research, a person uses his phone more than 2,000 times per day. Imagine if you could tap into learning a new skill 2,000 times a day. You would become an expert within a couple of weeks. Imagine if you, just the mere thought of something that you want to do, your goals, 2,000 times per day, you would almost certainly achieve them. So why aren't you? Why can't you? The answer to your problem is not what you think. It's not going cold turkey, abstinence, or becoming a digital monk. It is, like in any healthy relationship, having boundaries. For example, let's take Instagram, one of the biggest social media addicting drugs there is. Instagram Reels especially. I'm not telling you to delete Instagram, okay? That would be a step too far. Remember, everything needs to be done progressively. You need to progressively overload everything. But something that I've done that I want to share with you, I've done it for the last 2-3 months now, and it's reduced my social media time 100 times. I'm literally opening the app, Instagram, maybe once every 3 weeks, maybe once a month, for no more than 30-40 minutes a month. And that's all through getting this one shortcut app called 1sec. Now what 1sec does is whenever you open the Instagram app, it comes up with take a deep breath. And then the screen goes down like that, and then back up like that. So i.e. the inhale and the exhale. And that's actually enough time for me to go, okay, yeah, I don't want to go on Instagram anymore. It was only a mindless tap. Because most of this scrolling that we do is just mindless. You're not even thinking about it. You'll literally be on a task that you're working on. You'll be in the gym and you'll pick up your phone and you'll start scrolling on social media because you're procrastinating, because you're socially awkward. You know the whole joke about, oh, get your weather app out, boys, when you see a group of girls. It's because you're just nervous, and it's just ease, it's comfort. And it's also a good form of procrastinating. It's easier than doing the difficult work that you want to do. But the key thing that I thought about and realized was that I was opening the app mindlessly without consciously going, okay, I'm going to open up Instagram now. And this 1sec app, which I will leave a link to in the description, has honestly just done it for me. It's just been enough resistance. And that's all we need. We just need that little bit of extra resistance to stop using it. And that will be sufficient. You are going to struggle. You are going to want to quit. It may take months or even years to find the right piece of the puzzle that solves your social media addiction and put it in the right place. But acting like the piece doesn't exist or that you can't change your life by adding these boundaries is narrow-minded and false. Now let's talk about the news, another form of media that appears productive but actually isn't. And we consume it in a very unhealthy way. So how do we stop? Well, by stopping consuming it so much. Very boring, but nonetheless important answer. Don't watch an hourly update, read a daily paper. Don't read a daily paper, read a weekly review. Don't read a weekly review, read a monthly magazine. Don't read a monthly magazine, read an annual book. When it comes to voting, brush up on all the candidates. Aside from that, it's noise that you cannot control. In the last 5 to 6 months, I've massively taken a big step back from the news, particularly watching it before bed. I used to watch it at around 10:15, and it would just put me in a really negative headspace before bed. And I'd also watch it early in the morning as well, which would also set me up for negativity in the morning. It just didn't do any good for me. It was all negative, and every single night and every single morning, I'd make the same comment. There's no good news on. There's nothing nice on the news. It's all negative, it's all a downer, and there's also nothing I can do to change it, which further makes you feel like rubbish. My main source of news has been via my Financial Times subscription. I get an email every single morning, which I read maybe once or twice a week, of the headlines, the key headlines of what's going on in the world, and that is sufficient for me. That just keeps me aware, which is obviously useful for conversation, engaging in various family and social conversations. It's a good form of discussion. But other than that, I don't consume any any news at all. And why am I telling you to do this? There was a study published about the Boston Marathon where they compared those that had actually been at the marathon and their level of trauma against those that had merely watched 90 minutes or more of the events before, during, and after the Boston Marathon on television, on the news. The results found that PTSD was significantly higher in those who had watched the events unfold on the news compared to those that were actually there. So be aware of its power to dictate how you feel and your mental health. Switch it off, not on. Consume it critically rather than scrolling the channels passively. Much like social media, as I said before, I want you to ask yourself the next time you're on social media the following questions, and it can be any form of media. Why am I watching/reading this? What can I learn from this? How can I apply it in my life right now? How does it make me feel? And why does it make me feel this way? View your social media feed as research rather than entertainment. You'll never look back again. The modern day seemingly gives your brain no time to breathe. So another good thing that you can implement to fight back against your social media addiction or your tendency to scroll mindlessly on media is to go for walks outside in nature, runs, without your phone, without headphones. So no listening to music. Use it as a time to think. Walking without music is better for you because it's safer, you'll be more sociable, and you'll be more creative. Ultimately, the way to harness and leverage social media to your advantage rather than let it control you is to be accountable for your addiction to scrolling, setting boundaries, and taking responsibility for maintaining those boundaries. As Alex Hormozi said, you can measure how successful someone will be by how much they take responsibility when things go wrong and how little they take when things go right. So if you struggle with doom scrolling, if you struggle with picking up your phone at random points in the day and engaging 2,000 times per day on your phone, on whatever it may be, just take accountability. Just be aware that you're doing it. Awareness is the first step. Accountability is the second step. And if you get through those first two steps, then you will reduce your time. You will inevitably spend less time doom scrolling on your social media platforms. And once you've managed to do that, immediately putting yourself in the top 5%, in the top 3% of people around the world, then that is when progress can be made towards all of your goals. And that is when you will separate yourself from the rest. I hope you found some value in this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, subscribe, like, all of that good jazz, and I'll catch you in the next one.